Stadium on the campus of the University of Akron. It'll be electricity charged today as the high-octane 3-0 Marshall Thundering Herd come in to tangle with the 1-1 Zips from the University of Akron.
That Rakeem Cato is the real deal. 4-year starter. He's going to shatter the record books for the Marshall Thundering Herd in regards to touchdown passes and completions. And when you look at those numbers, you have to be impressed. But more so, Michael, what impresses me is his leadership capabilities. The young man has been a starter for 4 years. That tells you right there that he has integrity, that he has leadership, and he has the intangibles necessary to lead the Thundering Herd within the Conference USA.
And he's thrown for over 11,000
and that makes a huge difference
yards, which doesn't hurt at all. What an absolutely fantastic Saturday afternoon for college football here inside Infocision Stadium on the campus of the University of Akron. Chamber of Commerce type football day. And the temperature near 80 degrees, no wind at all. Should be just a fantastic and a splendid atmosphere for college football. Marshall leads this whole-time series, as you see. Akron won the last meeting with a 3-point win at the old Rubber Bowl. Settle back and enjoy it, everybody. Game on here inside Infocision Stadium as that opening kickoff from Marshall's Corey Vedrick going to sail out of the field of play.
And right now in a third and long situation, look for Kyle Pohl to probably hook up with his favorite target, Zach D'Orazio, in these type of situations.
4 wide receivers, blitz coming, and Pohl had to throw the football away. There's some of that team speed from Marshall. That was D.J. Hunter, who wears number 22. The 4th-year senior had his sights on Kyle Pohl.
Well, you consider that Devin Johnson is 240 plus. Just him alone will punish your defense. And then you bring Stuart Butler in there for the flash of the running back committee. Very impressed what they have on the offensive end for skill makers for the Thundering Herd.
Cato on 2nd and 8. Look at him zip that throw as he's right on time to Tommy with the John Centers. This is a first down now for Marshall. They go back to the ground game, and this is the powerful Devin Johnson. Johnson in open space.
That's called making the correct pre-snap read. So it's not just athletic ability on display with Cato. He's also using his brain in the process to diagnose what a defense is trying to achieve and obviously countering against it.
And how about the power of Devin Johnson on 2nd and 7? Johnson will show that ability to power through defenders in the run game. First downs have been terrific. Cato now will step up. Look at him ad-lib with a backhanded flip that's hauled in by Devin Johnson, very close to another Marshall first down. Rakeem Cato, who last week just absolutely lit up the Ohio Bobcats defensively, threw for 4 touchdown passes. Look at Cato readjust that. He's got Tommy Schuler. Schuler will make that catch and step out of bounds. Another first down. Cato will keep the football. Great cut inside the 5. He's in the end zone. Touchdown, Rakeem Cato and Marshall.
And that will be on SportsCenter for a highlight. We told you before, Rakeem Cato can throw the football, but he can also beat you with his legs. And when you see the cut that he made on that particular play, there'll be ooh and ahs on that play.
With one of those break ankles and leave equipment on the football field, moves to the house. 7-0 Marshall. Back to the ground game, Hakeem Lawrence. He put the football on the ground as he got tracked down from the backside by Arnold Blackman. Turnover, Blackman stripped it, and Marshall has got the football.
Hakeem Lawrence is a young player in this program for the Akron Zips. One thing that you have to be conscientious of is protection of the football. You're playing against an opponent that is known for putting up points. You cannot afford to give them the ball back. And right there, just simply not being aware of what's around you. You cannot afford to put the ball on the ground as he just did.
Everything is, of course, out of the read option run game. Cato with all kinds of time. He wants the whole bundle. Gonna put it up to the corner. It was caught, but out of the field of play from Angelo Gene Lewis. Lewis trying to tightrope that back line. What a big, rangy receiver this redshirt freshman is, Gerard. He's averaging an eye-popping 31.4 yards per catch. That young man, Gene Lewis. So what does Chuck Amato and Akron dial up here? Go right back to the Reed inside run game, and Reemy Watson's got a first. But Gerard, I know this. When you start putting your name up in the areas of Chad Pennington and Byron Leftwich, two guys that you played against in the NFL, I know that you are accomplishing big things as a Marshall quarterback.
That is the absolute truth, Michael. When you have those type of numbers and we're only 3 to 4 games deep into the season, you wonder and you think those records will be broken on the part of Rakeem Cato.
You're so right. They really do. As we prepared this week and have watched them on tape in their previous 3, the weapons really stick out. Middle of the football field, Cato's got Tommy Schuler on that hook up inside the 15. Gerard, how did Cato look off there and then get Schuler working in wide open space?
You know what I call this, Michael? I call this Devin Johnson in the head of the defenders for the Akron Zips, because they don't want to tackle him and let him get full steam ahead. And what they do is leave Schuler, the last man on earth you want to leave, wide open.
From the left hash, this will be from 24 yards out. Justin Haig will hit that dead center. 2 possessions. First 10 minutes of the first quarter. Marshall's offense has put 10 on the board.
Now they're facing each other's head coaches.
Yeah, well, they've stayed.
How it comes full circle.
The paths have crossed many, many times through the course of the last 40 years. Well, Rakeem Cato again sizing up his big tight end as he's able to connect with Eric Frohnapple. And again, deep in Akron territory. 2nd and 9. Cato gonna float the throw to the end zone. It is caught. Touchdown. Angelo Gene Lewis making his 3rd TD grab of the year. Gerard, the ball placement on that back boundary from Rakeem Cato.
Exactly where it needed to be for Gene Lewis, where he did not have to worry about stepping out of bounds. Excellent ball placement on the part of Cato. And give credit to this offensive line, Michael. There was no duress, no pressure on the part of Cato, able to just sit back there and essentially play pass and catch.
Are you ready for this? Now, this is their 4th football game of the year. Marshall has now outscored the opposition as we look at the Cato to Gene Lewis TD Connect, 89-3 in first halves this year.
And that's why you have a receiver that can get a step on a defensive back and the offensive line providing that level of protection, Michael, you will score that many points that you just displayed.
4th possession of the opening quarter, and this is the true freshman Manny Morgan. That read option run game, and he got tracked down from the backside. That's Neville Hewitt. He wears number 6. All right, this is 3rd down and 5 now. 4 wide for quarterback Kyle Pohl. Hewitt showing blitz for Marshall. Pohl gonna work the middle. DeRazio had it rejected from him and now picked off. Intercepted by Marshall's cornerback. Let's see who picked that off. Was it Taekwon Lang? I believe it was. Taekwon Lang, who gets in on nickel and dime coverage, made the pick. Did DeRazio have his hands on it?
Kyle Pohl drops back, surveys the football field, and makes an ill-advised throw, because when you look at the position of Taekwon, of the cornerback for the Marshall, A.J. Leggett, you have no reason to throw that ball. He's all over Zach DeRazio, and then Taekwon Lang comes up with the interception. Sometimes you got to take the defense.
The opening quarter. Right back to the ground game. Look at that gap to get to the second level for running back Devin Johnson.
More of that effort and that type of know-how and attitude as this game commences.
On 3rd and 1, back to Devin Johnson on the ground game. He'll churn out with power a first down. Needed 1, got 9 first down. Rakeem Cato, Devin Johnson, Marshall. 310-pound 4th-year junior, so he got hit with a hold. Going to bring up 2nd and 25. Blitz coming. Look at Cato, just simply ad-libbed it, adjusted, and found Angelo Gene Lewis, who made the grab in front of Chris Givens. 5 games in his decorated Marshall career. He's thrown for better than 415 yards, and back at it again, going to take another shot. And that is hauled in by Angelo Gene Lewis. Johnson got the first down and more. Johnson's going to the house on 4th and 1. Devin Johnson, touchdown, Marshall.
Well, Michael, sounds like looks like they're well on their way to amassing 700 yards again if they keep this production level up. 200 yards in the first quarter.
So look at Akron. What do they got? 8, 9 in the box?
9, heck, 10 in the box. Missed tackle right there by CJ, then another missed tackle there as well by Durant. Cannot have that level of play when you're going against a quality opponent. It speaks for itself. Hits.
Gonna go jumbo as Akron. Pair of tight ends, Jerome Lewis and Anthony Ratosa on 3rd and 1. DJ Jones got denied. What quickness from that Marshall defensive front 7 as Marshall making the stop. And on that hit for the Thundering Herd was Jermaine Holmes as he stepped into a seam and planted Jones. They're going to go jumbo again with tight ends Jerome Lewis and Anthony Ratosa. Kyle Pohl in all kinds of trouble as Marshall's white shirts swarmed to the football again. It was Gary Thompson making the initial hit.
And you saw on display right there the inability of the Zips to make a decision with the football and not trusting the play calling on the part of Kyle Pohl. He has nowhere to go with this football. He was in a two-way go situation. Do I throw it or do I run it?
4th down and goal for Akron, needing 7. Pohl got flushed. Gonna come end zone. It was picked off. Intercepted by A.J. Leggett, his 2nd interception of the year.
And that is a classic example of trying to do too much for the field.
Do you like necessarily taking half the football field away when you get on the waggle here and wind up outside the numbers?
I don't like that at all. I understand you want to put Pohl on the move, but you got to do crossing routes. Do things in which you force defenders to make a decision on the out.
And Kyle Pohl threw that football as he was forced right up on that far boundary and had it picked off by Leggett. This is Remy Watson with speed. Remy Watson, throttle down and see you later. 80-yard touchdown lightning bolt. Marshall's Remy Watson after a 4th down Marshall turnover in the end zone.
Don't want to take anything away from Remy Watson, but you got to think, Michael, that the heart has been taken out of this Akron Zips football team on the defensive end.
Haven't been able to find it here in more than a quarter and a half today. This is Hakeem Lawrence. Well, look at the speed. Now that football came out again. And Marshall has come up with yet another turnover as young Hakeem Lawrence has fumbled the football for the 2nd time today. Unless the officials may look at it and rule that he was down.
And you know you're a ball player when your nickname is Swag. But right here you see the run by Lawrence. Protect the football. And it appears to me that he was down, but it will obviously be a decision up top.
But Gerard, wasn't he?
He was on top, but he
was rolling on the back of James Rouse.
Yeah, and that's the part right
Let's
there.
take a look at it again.
Right
now watch number 11, James Rouse.
Does his knee come down? That's the question, though. Because if he's on his body, of Rouse's body, then he's still
alive.
Live
yes.
runner.
How about this angle, Gerard? Let's take a look.
See right here, designates which hole he wants to go through, and you really still can't tell from that angle.
Yeah, well, maybe it did the left elbow
pop it out,
possibly hit the ground.
Something we have not given enough credit to is this defense with the Thundering Herd. The offense gets so much of the attention and accolades, but this defense is solid, and that's what you need if you're going to make a serious run in the FBS and be considered a top-tier program. You have to bring it on the offensive and defensive end.
Kyle Pohl stepped up and got tripped up, is making that Marshall defensive stop.
That's one of the reasons why they're not having success, because it's so conscious on their minds.
Kyle Pohl, boy, he's in trouble. He put that up for grabs. L.T. Smith bailed him out. Did you see the shot that he took from Marshall's James Rouse? He'll call his own number on his first touchdown run.
And from the get-go, Cato showed you his ability to run the football and throw it, and right there, excellent move in the open field to beat the Akron defender.
So they take a 7-0 lead here, and then how about the touch to the back of the boundary to Angelo Jean Lewis?
As advertised, dual threat quarterback. He can run it and throw it, and right there delivers an excellent ball to his wide receiver. And then Kyle Pohl, he says, I want to get in on the act, but in process, throws an interception, and that's been a problem all day for this Akron offense. Issues and problems in the red zone. And then Remy Watson. What can you say about an 80-yard touchdown run in which he pretty much goes untouched by the Akron Zips defense? That's pretty much been the story of the day, in that the Zips have not been able to corral or stop the Thundering Herd. You can have a dose of Devin, you can have a dose of Remy. Haven't seen any Stewart.
No, we have not. And this is Rakeem Cato off play action, gunning the out to Tommy Schuler.
The Herd got back on track. Simple play, allow Cato to make a play in the process. Nothing complicated about it at all. Right back to the running game, picking up a first down.
Part of Conference USA against the Mid-American Conference today. Cato off the play fake. Well, he delivered a strike. Ball placement superb. 6 catch of the afternoon. Tommy Schuler ran that slant route for the first down. As we've showed you, he's number 2 on the Marshall career completion list. And Cato inside the 5 will speed his way to the house. Touchdown. Rakeem Cato, his 2nd rushing TD of the day.
Deja vu. He did the exact same play in the first half, first quarter to be exact, in which he got the first score for the Marshall Thundering Herd by doing the exact same play, same type of step and movement from a move standpoint to score a touchdown. Very elusive and effective runner is Rakeem Cato.
With the offense back on the football field for the Zips. Pohl triggered that throw in coverage, and it was broken up again. All right, this is 4th and 3 for Pohl. Fired the in route, and it was broken up. It was intended for Keith Sconyers. Excellent defensive play again by Darrell Roberts on the pass breakup. You want to rep your first units through 3 quarters plus, do you not? As Cato will fire the throw that's hauled in by tight end Eric Frohnapple, going to bring up 3rd and short. Doc Holliday probably told us 5 times, but this isn't about individual accolades for this young man. Remy Watson might have bent it to the house if Devontae Morgan did not make the touchdown-saving tackle for Akron.
Yeah, Remy realized he was just that close. As you watch, Remy cuts through the hole, and good job of blocking the game out of the offensive line. Give Morgan credit, because that one, Remy knows it. I was on my way to the house again.
Did move the sticks, pick up a first down from the 45. Cato, out route. Can you throw that out route? Now, that wasn't from the far hash. Bring up a 3rd down and 10 right now for Cato, as we'll go with 4 wide and run the football to Remy Watson through a big gap, and he'll pick up the first. So Marshall's going to move the chains as we come inside the 7-minute mark now here in the 3rd quarter. Cato, well, look at the zip on that throw as he was able to quickly trigger.
But you can do that when you have stability. And whenever you're trying to rebuild a program, that's the key part. Keeping things stable with the same coordinators, coaches in play.
I was watching Ryan Juracek run that route, and I mean, yeah, Cato, I mean, you may question the size, 6'1", 180 pounds. But he has got a lot of zip on the football, as you see there. Him triggering that strike again inside the 20. Haig out of the hold of Tyler Williams from the left hash from 34 yards away. Plenty of leg, and he will hit it straight and true. So put 3 on the board for Marshall.
Makes it even more challenging on the part of Pohl.
This is what we talked about yesterday. Pressure coming on Kyle Pohl, and down he goes. Well, this Marshall defense just continues with their pursuit.
That sheet column as well, and Pohl has nowhere to go because it's an excellent job down the field for
Conference USA, and from the Mid-American Conference, and from the Mountain West, and from the American. Opportunities to play New Year's Day Bowls. Cato surveying the middle, and he delivered that strike to Devontae Allen, who made the catch. Well, Cato hung that on a rope, Gerard Cherry.
He did hang that on a rope, Michael. Look at the time. It's dependent upon the amount of time his offensive line gets. And we haven't called Devontae Allen's name today, but right there was a quality catch because he took some abuse.
Marshall's thundering herd, and look at that sea of green over there. I mean, they stretch from the goal line past the midfield stripe, but this Marshall thundering herd fan base, Gerard, they always have traveled well, and why not? When you're watching a football team like Doc Holliday has, I'd make sure I made the road trips too.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to miss what this offense and defense has put on display for the Marshall Thundering Herd today. And when you play the way they play, you should have a large following and contingency along for the ride as well. Very impressive what we've seen thus far, not in this game, but the course of the season for the Marshall Thundering Herd.
And this program has always followed their football team and traveled well. Rakeem Cato is going to take a shot, and it is caught. It was hauled in inside the 5 with a flag. Now, which way is that going to go?
Certainly are, and you have to be subtle. It was the same question called for Pratt. Now it's going against them as well.
Offense, number 2. It's a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Second down.
But look at the balance with the run game that Marshall uses offensively.
A 45-yard difference between run and pass, and obviously the running game has been so prolific. Passing has been good, but when you think about it across the board, that they've been able to have their way on both ends, be it runner or pass, you have to be impressed with those numbers. 7 of 12 third down conversions. That says it all right there. They've stayed on the football field. Guys that are the 2s and 3s, he has opportunities. And when you're in this situation, what a coach wants to see from you, Michael, is that you're going to go out there and play with effort and conviction. So that what can that do to set you up for the next week or even in the future, that they can depend on you, that you're going to play with heart. You have to see that.
It's 4 wide now on 3rd and 11 for Tommy Woodson. Pressure coming. Pressure coming, and Woodson's just going to throw the football away. The heat was on. As
he's been actually advertised as one of the great amalgamators of talent in that regard. So you got to give Doc Holliday credit for recognizing in young men what it takes to be successful college football players. Cannot have plays like that taking place. This is your opportunity for you to set yourself up, because you are going to be the heir apparent, because Cato is a senior.
On 3rd and 9, oh, look at Holcomb. He'll zing that out route, and it is caught as he put it on the hands for the 3rd reception today of Ryan Urachek on both rosters now, as especially for Marshall, as Brandon Boyd will take that quick toss pitch, and he's on the sprint into Akron territory before he finally got run out of bounds.
We haven't seen or heard much of anything about Brandon Boyd today, but right there tells me that this young man's going to be something to record in the future. Look how he hits that hole and the speed comes on. And a great angle on the part of Selby to bring him down.
Marshall for the Thundering Herd, so, you know, recruiting bases go expanding deep beyond that.
That they do, and
Paul Christ, such a terrific job trying to bring back the Pitt Panther fortunes. Bird, good cut. Inside the 5, and he's to the house. Touchdown, as the 4th running back on this Marshall squad, Brandon Bird, takes it to the house to put 6 more on the board for Marshall.
And when Bird entered the game, you got a sense that he was going to do something special with the football today. And right there, he shows you the young man has speed.
100 yards on the ground, and they're at 519 of total offense.
And the issue at hand is whether or not Bird stepped out of bounds prior to entering into the end zone. And from this angle right here, looks good to me, Michael.
You like it? Okay. Gerard says it's clean. All right, that's probably going to be the final snap of the football game. As you see the two friends, there they are, college football teammates as West Virginia Mountaineers, Doc Holliday and Terry Bowden, congratulating one another. Doc Holliday and Chuck Amato. Amato had Holliday on his staff at North Carolina State for 5 years. So a lot of tremendous friends. There, look at the hugs. What a relationship with coaches in college football, something else. All right, that's going to do it for us. Marshall goes to 4-0 on the year with a most impressive 48-17 win over the now 1-2 Akron Zips, as Rakeem Cato and Doc Holliday's crew continue to show why they might be one of the very best around the FBS.